Welcome to the Even Better podcast, where your host, Sinikka Waugh of Your Clear Next Step, brings you exciting content about making communities better by helping people get even better at work.
Today's episode is brought to you by Your Clear Next Step and the Changemaker Certification Program.
Would you like to save time by solving the right problem sooner with a realistic and measurable plan? Reduce overwhelm by finding more sustainably productive ways to work? Improve employee morale by creating more positive workdays from within? Stay competitive by tightening your turn or increasing your agility in adapting to changing customer demands? If you said yes to those things, then we have the solution for you. You'll get 8 full-day virtual sessions over 10 months, plus 6 hours of one-on-one coaching, 8 hours of intentional networking, and 8 hours of personal reflection. The growth that we've seen is absolutely unparalleled. Our participants of prior cohorts have remarked about how phenomenal their results have been.
Interested in becoming a changemaker? Give us a call at 515-442-0545.
Welcome back to the Even Better podcast. This is Sinikka Waugh, and I am so delighted that you've taken just a few moments to make your day even better so that together we can co-create better work days, better life days, better communities all around us. It is my joy to spend a few moments with you. And today we're talking about emotional intelligence and the fact that it is linear and cyclical and a thing that we have to do over and over and over and over again. My friends, we're never done. We never arrive at emotional intelligence. We never get there. And isn't that great? We get to continue to hone these skills. We get to continue to self-improve. We get to continue to grow. We get to continue to struggle and to try and to improve every day, every week, every year, every time we take a breath. And every morning is a chance to try again. And every night when we reflect on how today went, we can go, that wasn't my best, but that's okay because tomorrow I get another shot. And as I've been thinking about this idea of emotional intelligence and what it brings to the table and how I might be able to be useful in some ways, I think about the concept, right? As I teach emotional intelligence, yesterday I was teaching our kickoff. It was the kickoff to our newest cohort of the Changemakers program, which is just making such a wonderful impact in so many lives. And yesterday was our the art and science of emotional intelligence, right? So it's the beginning of the journey for the newest cohort. And in that day, we talk about just a handful of tools and tricks and things that we can do to grow. And it's based on the premise of this concept of emotional intelligence that we've got to keep growing. And we know that we begin with self-awareness, right? Who am I and what makes me tick and what ticks me off? And what am I good at and what am I not so good at? And what are my strengths and where do I grow? And what am I pursuing? And what am I shying away from? And what are my blind spots? And what are, as my friend Blair or Barb likes to say, what are my shine spots and my blind spots? And then we move to self-management. How do I manage me? Because the naturally occurring version of me is not ideal in all situations. So how do I manage me so that I don't cause bruises when I show up? How do I curb me in some situations and grow me in other situations and adjust me in the situations that I need to? And then we move from there to other awareness and looking around at who else is here. Look, you guys, look at all these people and they're not like me. And isn't that great? Look at all these other faces that showed up and they're not like me. Isn't that great? Don't forget the isn't that great, my friends. That's the part that lights us up. That's the part that makes it so great, is we get to see their other journeys and see what they bring to the table and delight in them and approach them with curiosity and wonder and delight instead of judgment. And then we move to relationship management, which is where I take what I know about me and how to manage me, and I take what I know about you and the moment that you're in and the present that you're in, and I move us both together in the best possible way for the best possible outcome. And it really is linear because I can't move our relationship forward until I understand who you are. And I can't understand who you are until I get out of my own way. And I do that through self-management. And I don't even know that I'm in my own way except by self-awareness. And so I have to do these things in that order. But I don't do them once. I do them over and over and over and over and over and over again. And just when I think I've figured it out, I get through middle school. And just when I get that figured out, then there's high school and college and I don't know, my new first job and then leadership and then there's a pandemic and or maybe parenthood or a promotion or people coming back to work. And maybe as you figure out emotional intelligence, maybe it's easy on the easy days. Like, oh, I'm self-aware that I'm bouncy, flouncy, fun, just like Tigger on the great days. But maybe it's not easy on the great days. Maybe self-management, maybe learning to use your inside voice or your library voice or your hushed voice or your nap time voice. Maybe you have one of those boisterous voices and those arms that stretch out and bang into things when you talk. Maybe that self-awareness took you a bit. And the self-management wasn't easy. It took feedback. And that wasn't so easy, even on the good days. Other awareness, that, my friends, that's when we get out of our own way and we look around and we see the other people and we see when they are hurting and we see and we delight in their joy and we see their perspectives, even when it's different from our own. And when they give us feedback that maybe sometimes that feedback hurts, we take them at their word because their perspective is in fact their perspective, even if it's not the same as our perspective. Sometimes other awareness comes from watching others struggle. And that's hard to do, especially if it's someone that we love. And sometimes other awareness comes during the really hard times for us, or the really stressful moments for us, where we become aware of how other people are impacting us. And we don't like it because they're creating distress for us. And then we go to judgment instead of curiosity, which makes relationship management harder. One of the things that's getting this top of mind right now is the number of people that I know in my network who are going through really, really, really hard times. I will tell you, there is some brutal stuff going on right now. There are divisions among families and friends and within churches. There are friends who have lost loved ones. There are people experiencing deep, deep grief and pain. There are layoffs and job losses and job changes that are painful personally and financially. There is uncertainty right now within personal situations and right now politically on the sort of global or at least national scale, there is uncertainty that's creating stress and distress. And there's an immediacy to it that for many in my personal network, as people have been speaking to me and reaching out, as we talk about emotional intelligence, right now, it's hard to be emotionally intelligent in a positive way. Maybe we're aware of our distress, maybe we're aware of our pain, and it's harder and harder and harder to do the second half of this, right? The first half, maybe we can get that self-aware and we can almost get that self-manage, but it's harder to get that other focus in a positive light. When we think about emotional intelligence, it has both a self-focus and an other focus, and it has both a knowing and a doing side. And I want to offer us some tools right now to help us think through it. And in my life and in my worldview, one of the things that helps me is a perspective that I know for sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I am loved. And I invite you to stop and think about where that comes from for you. Some number of years ago, I had a wonderful conversation with a friend of mine who shared during a really difficult time that he had been going through, that someone else had shared with him, that in this really difficult time, he said, but even in this difficult moment, don't forget that God sees you, that God could have changed this outcome, and that God has a plan. And as he walked through that, he said, God sees you. God is omniscient. The God that we serve, and he and I come from a worldview that has a God who loves me. And I know that not everyone believes this, but let me share this story for just a moment. That God sees you, and God has run after you. God loves you, and God sees you, and he sees all things, and he sees you in the midst of this. And he could have changed this outcome. He is omnipotent. He could have changed this. He has the power to have changed this outcome. It could have gone differently, but he also has a plan. And he has a plan, and he has promised that this plan is not to harm you, but to give you a hope and a future. And it is a plan that will work out for the good of those who love him. And so this plan is even greater than what you're experiencing right now. And so from this sense of certitude that this individual is operating from, and it's very, very similar to the worldview that I hold, that this sense of peace could come. And I invite you to find your perspective, to find where your assurance in the future comes, and let that be part of your own perspective in emotional intelligence and in your ability to move forward. As I was looking at this, and if you'd ever like to stop and visit with me about this, I invite you to reach out, because I'd love to share with you where my hope comes from. I know as I've been going through something really deeply, deeply difficult, I know that God sees. I know that he could have changed the outcome, and I know that he has a plan that is greater than the pain that I'm in right now. And so it's okay. I can get through it. And let me change the lines on emotional intelligence a little bit and show you how that actually works for me, and the words that I use for self-awareness and self-management and other awareness and relationship management, and how that changes the message that I use as I go through these stages in a stressful moment. So in self-awareness, I'm in a moment, and let's say the moment that I'm in is the deal that I just wanted. I really wanted that deal with that particular customer, or the thing that I was hoping for did not turn out the way I was hoping for, or I just received feedback that is biting and harsh, or someone posted something that is critical and mean-spirited, or I stubbed my toe, for heaven's sakes, and it's bleeding and raw and it hurts. Whatever it happens to be. I'm running late again, and I've just spilled my coffee everywhere on the front seat. Self-awareness. I am loved. That's the first piece of self-awareness. So I am loved. There's my self-awareness that I come from. I am loved. I know who I am. I am loved. That's the first piece of self-awareness that I come from, is that I am loved. There are all kinds of other things that are true about me. I am, in fact, a chronic underestimator of transportation time. I am, in fact, sometimes a little bit hotter-headed than I should be. I do, in fact, make mistakes. I do things faster sometimes than I should, and I should slow down sometimes. And sometimes I don't say the right words, and I am imperfect and fallen and flawed and broken. And above all, I am loved. I am loved, and I can count people who love me, and I can count a God who loves me, and I'm loved. And when I stop and remember that I am loved, it allows me to refocus. Self-management. I can do better. I can do better. Look at this moment right here. I can, in fact, snarl and snark and throw things and mutter things under my breath. I can stomp around and get mad or get frustrated or go dark or go quiet or throw myself a pity party or choose a crappy attitude. I have the ability to do that. I can swear, I can spit fire, I can do those things. I can yell, I can scream, I can stomp, I can do those things. And self-management, I can do better. I can do better. I can choose to smile. I can choose a better attitude. I can choose to see the good in this situation. I can choose laughter. I can choose to see the 5 good things that did happen today. I can choose to see the one moment of beauty. I can choose to see that I saw a gorgeous sunset last night. I can choose to see that last night I had dinner with my immediate family and they love me. I can choose to see that I'm about to go do a training for people who need my help. I can do better. Other awareness. I can look around and see there are other people around me right now. If I am driving a car, I can choose to operate that car with safety and with care. If I'm about to enter a meeting, I can be respectful of the other people in this meeting. If I am engaged in a conversation, I can soften my voice and pay attention to the eyes and the nonverbals of the other human involved in this conversation. If I am in a debate, I can bring myself back to the center of this debate and be here in this moment with them and for them. If I'm thinking about who I am serving and my customer in this training, I can be here for them and not me. I can pay attention to them. Even if that person just cut me off in traffic or said something stupid or didn't do the thing they swore they were going to do or did the thing they promised me they weren't going to do, I can choose to look at them and remember that the person in front of me in the car or in the classroom, the person in front of me is also worthy of love and belonging. They are valuable. They are worthy of this moment. They are worthy of my attention. They are worthy of love and belonging. They are not necessarily my favorite human in the planet. That's okay. They are worthy of love. They are worthy of belonging. They are worthy of the space that they hold, and that can fix my attitude. Self-aware, I am loved. Self-management, I can do better. Other awareness, the person in front of me, the person here is worthy of love and belonging. Relationship management. Now, this is where I take what I know about me and what I know about you. I know I am loved and I can do better. I know you are also worthy of love. So relationship management, we can do better together or separately, right? Maybe we need to go our separate ways and that's okay. But maybe we need to create boundaries so that we don't clash again. And that's okay too. But we can do better than this moment right here. If we clashed, if we fought, if we argued, if we had a problem, if we didn't communicate effectively, we can do better. We can set boundaries, we can set norms, we can create a structure by which we can do better together, or we can create boundaries where we don't need to be in the same space together again, and until we can do that in a healthy and productive way. We can do better together or separately so that we each have better days, better work days, better lives, better tomorrows, and we drive together safely and create better communities. My friends, this is what I offer you. This is the mindset that I'm going into it with emotional intelligence. I am loved. I can do better. You, the person in front of me, whoever the you is of that moment, this person in front of me is also worthy of love and belonging. And we can do better together or separately. We can do better. That's what I offer you. And it's linear and you got to do it in that order. I got to get myself centered. I am loved and I can do better. You are also loved and we can do better together or separately. Self-aware, self-manage, other aware, relationship manage, and then you do it all over and over and over and over again, every minute of every day. Oh, my friends, it's exhausting and it's inspiring and it's uplifting. And I hope that this uplifts you just a little bit. I would love to hear your feedback. Will you join me? Will you just check in with me on social media? Send me a note, connect with me somehow. I would love to hear if you're using this and if it's useful. Check in with me somehow. This is Sinikka at Your Clear Next Step. And on behalf of all of us here at Your Clear Next Step, I hope the rest of your day is even better.
Thank you for tuning in today. The Even Better podcast will be back with more content soon. But in the meantime, subscribe to our podcast or check out our website at yourclearnextstep.com for more information. See you next episode.